I will start because I know we had some comments and I know we got flooded with some emails about the animal control ordinance. And so I really wanted to address that immediately so I can kind of put that information out there. So in December, I was nominated as the chair of the ordinance committee, which I'm very grateful for that position and that role. And prior to our goal setting session, I had an email from a counselor and other information sent to me saying, can we make amendments to the animal control ordinance in regards to the plovers? Because, I think the recommendation from the state was something a little bit different than what we're actively practicing. I take my job seriously as the ordinance chair, and I did not want to just completely ignore a request that was coming from a counselor, from other groups, and anytime a resident comes with me with a concern, I'm not going to just ignore them. I also kind of want to at least give them the time to hear what they have to say. So prior to our goal setting session, I did reach out to the state. So I want to be clear, no one reached out to the federal government. No one has talked to the federal government. I was told we had a contact at the state, spoke to them and just said, I don't know what I'm looking at. I thought my understanding is they're in communication with the plover group, and this was not new information that was being provided to them. Also, I've only been the chair of ordinance this is my second year. There was no like, are we doing something wrong? It was like, it was just more of a question, as that is our expert. That is the person we have an agreement with. I think the staff recommendations and the expert recommendations are kind of what that agreement was. Then we had our goal setting session after that. And so I think, while I appreciate that no one wants to address that, I also think we have a group of residents who I think they came out, and we did get emails last year about concerns about it. And I didn't want to just completely ignore it. Did not expect the state to do anything more. Reached out for please educate me. What are we doing? Can we do something better? I think we just need to enforce our ordinances a little bit better down at the beaches. But so I just really want to put it out there that there was no, I wasn't trying to tattle on any one group. Never said this data is solid data. I didn't know really what I was looking at. And I think it's also, we have a group of 50 plus plover volunteers who are doing the best that they can. They take that job very seriously. They gather the data. I spoke to a plover volunteer today who quit because she said they were making her cry. So I think I didn't want to ignore the fact that there is an ongoing issue. I honestly do not know what the state's intention are. I have no idea. But I also felt like when you're giving a lot of data and you're getting feedback from people in our town, our population has exploded since then. I didn't think it was wrong to touch base and see where we were at with that situation. Ultimately, nothing can change from our animal control ordinance without the support of the council. And I don't want this council to get dragged down with something that happened before we got together as a council and said, we don't want to address this. So I just really wanted to make it clear. This wasn't a council action. This was the chair of the ordinance committee going, I don't know what I'm looking at. Can I get some feedback? Because I completely hear the feedback from the residents, but there are also residents who are spending a lot of time gathering the data and things like that. Like Corey said, I don't think there's really much we can do until something comes down from the state. I don't think again, in the one conversation I had with the guy from the state, I don't anticipate anything earth shattering coming from them. And I don't think it would be something like, oh, you're in trouble now or things like that. So, just doing my job as a due diligence, if any resident comes to me with some concerns or an ordinance proposal, if it's a goal or not, I do feel like I want to give residents and also my fellow counselors the respect to at least do a little research behind what they're asking to put on the ordinance committee agenda. With that being said, I think our council's made it pretty clear how we feel about this. And so, I don't want to create another issue for us the coming year, but I also don't want to ignore the fact that we do have residents who are reaching out and expressing concern with the current situation. I'm happy to talk to anyone. I will tell you, no one has reached out to me to date to ask me what that conversation was. So it's just been a lot of speculation about what's happened. So I think I'm happy to talk to anyone if they have concerns about what happened. I think I'm worried that one tiny phone call and one question is kind of spiraled into more than this. But obviously it's on everyone's radar, and all we can do is wait and see what the state does. Thanks.